So today I've got a bit of a fun video for y'all. I'm going to be walking through some of my weirder decks that just haven't had a place or enough value to really get their own video. These are funny decks that I think are pretty solid. They're just quite aren't there yet. To start off, we have Triamid Evil Eye. What makes this deck work is the concept of being able to use Ties of the Brethren to target any level 4 Dark Monster or level 4 Earth Monster to get a full unbreakable board. For example, if we targeted an Evil Eye who on normal summon, search Evil Eye field spell to grab either a spell negate or an extra monster. But with Ties of the Brethren, we can turn him into Barrier Statue of the Abhyss and Hand-Holding Genie who protects the Barrier Statue from attacks. But if we picked an Earth, let's say Triamid Master, we could pull out Quackimary Iron Wall, Fossil Dyna, Barrier Statue of the Drought, or Gate Blocker. More so than that, this deck synergizes by both Triamids and Evil Eye having benefits for destroying their own field spells. For example, Triamid Cruiser searches a Triamid monster whenever it's sent from field to grave. Triamid King Golem specials one from hand, and Triamid Fortress takes one monster from graveyard and add it to hand. Pareidolia lets us target an Evil Eye monster in graveyard and add it back to hand. Evil Eye monsters like Sisriel at the end of turn after you use their effect, or during the standby phase after you use their effect, well, you have to destroy one card you control. So we can use it to pop our own field spells to gain value in this really wacky sort of deck. A key part of using this deck is being able to use Magician's Souls to tribute and destroy your own field spells, to loot for more cards and get a free monster on board, because this can help us go into the Evil Eye extra deck, which, while it's not too great on its own, it is better than the base Evil Eye monster, so it's worth knowing for that. Here's a pretty simple combo to show you how it would work. We can Terraforming, activate a Tri-Mid field spell, play over it, search each Evil Eye monster, activate, search this guy, which lets us dump an Evil Eye spell, dump it, add a spell and trap negate to hand, and then ties for boom, boom, bam. So if you see, Hand-Holding Genie forces your opponent to attack him before they can attack anything else. And because he has the effect of stealing the defense points from every other monster on the field, you end up with a big beat stick that cannot easily be attacked over. It's pretty funny. This is another funny one of mine. Alien Abhyss. The goal is simple. Make Cosmic Slicer Zeril and Alien Shock Trooper M-Flame to place a bunch of alien tokens on our opponent's side of the field on their turn, negate all their effects, then use Masses Noptious to steal every card they control. This deck is hilarious and dysfunctional. Typically, we're going to be using the Abhyss engine to set up link monsters, set up our first link monsters, and we're going to use the alien engine, I say, to quickly set up the other half we need. It's not the best deck ever, I'll be honest with you, that's why I'm not really showing it off here, but it is funny and more functional than you'd think. If you guys want me to show any of these decks in more detail, just let me know in the comments, and I'll see what I can do. Here's my mutant deck list. Now this one's pretty spicy. We're going to abuse the fact that in mutants, we can use Brain Research Lab and Mutant Evolution Lab to not have to normal summon our mutant boys. And taking this, we're going to use them to spam free monsters on the field, then tribute summon for Overdrive Teleporter. Now, when he's Tribute Summon, we can pay 2k life points to special summon 2 level 3 Psychic type monsters from our deck. And we have some options here. We can get back mutant cards, or we can summon Ghost Ogre for a tuner monster. Alright? This tuning we can then use to Synchro Summon into either a level 9 or a level 6 card. We have some pretty good options here, such as Cubing, or if you wanted to be really spicy, we can just go into some old Psychic type monsters, which are not good, but are really funny and kind of surprising. Then after we've done this combo, we can then use Mutant Cry to fusion summon Mutant Ultimus by using the monsters we've moved around while trying to set up Overdrive Teleporter. It's a very simple deck, but it's pretty fun. Also, surprising tech, Psi Impulse. Tribute 1 Psychic type monster, return all cards in your opponent's hand to the deck, and they draw 3 cards. Theoretically, in a perfect world where they don't hand trap us, we've ripped 2 cards out of our opponent's hand. Typically, I'd expect at least 1 hand trap, so it's only going to rip 1, but it can shake up our opponent's hand to really screw them over. And Psychic Teleporter gets us the extra monsters we need. And we're running Necroface, because mutants thrive off being banished thanks to cards like Mutant Call. So, we want to try to banish Necroface through whatever means necessary to banish as many cards off the top of the opponent's deck as possible, and our own as well, so we can make them with combo pieces. This is another fun one. This is a wind combo turbo deck that never quite got off the ground for some reasons that'll be discussed later, but it's a pretty simple concept. none of the wind, like major wind archetypes, overly restrict each other. Sure, you can play Wind Witch, but those only restrict you to wind monsters and at most wind synchro monsters. Speedroids lock you into wind monsters, but they don't stop Wind Witch. Gustos have no restrictions, because they are an abomination of a deck. And cards like Win the Wind Medium and Malkim the True Draco Phoenix combo with both of them. Ah shoot, Samorga's banned. Well, we don't need it. Nor do we really need this barrier statue. Now, our key combos in this deck are revolve around actually the Gusto portion of his engine. Gusto Griffin, when he is sent from hand to graveyard, you can special summon one Gusto monster from your deck. Meaning if we discard him with Win the Wind Medium, we can search one with Win the Wind Medium and special one of our Gusto monsters as well. And our Gusto monsters have various effects when they're sent from field to graveyard to special another Gusto monster from the deck, thus giving us free special summons and link monsters to work with. Mariam, the True Draco Phoenix, lets us special summon herself by destroying 2 monsters in hand or face up on the field, including a wind monster, to special summon this card. And then lets us banish 4 cards from the top of the opponent's deck. Because they're going to be wins, I'm telling you now. This is our key concept, or key card for triggering our Gusto skill, as well as getting a free monster on board. Speedroid engines provide generic special summons, and the Wind Witch engine is a free wind synchro monster. We also get to run an expanded Wind Witch engine, thanks to Wind Witch chimes and the like. So it all works out to just make a bunch of generic wind synchro monsters. The biggest reason this deck doesn't work is the overall quality of wind synchro monsters is low at this particular time, but give it time and it might end up being more relevant than you think. Also, a bit of a mention, I did try this list with Tri-Brigade. Unfortunately, the locking into wind really screws over how well this list can work. As you can see, this list is a bit dated based off the ban list as well. But yeah, that's this deck. Here's my modern zombie sword list. I think this one's quite fun. We're just taking the most refined version of the Lightsworn package as possible, combining it with a more Shiranui heavy zombie engine. We're gonna go first, we're gonna set our Shiranui traps, and we're gonna try to make as many broken level 8 synchro monsters as possible. Thanks to Chaos Wheeler, this deck is really not as bad as it used to be. And of course, we have the Symphonic engine for an extra normal summon to help play around some hand traps that this deck can regularly lose to. When the new Shiranui trap comes out, this deck might have some actual legs because of how insane it is to flip a trap, tribute a Shiranui synchro monster, or Mayakashi link monster, which just takes 2 generic zombies, to lock our opponents out of special summoning completely. I think that trap's still better in zombie world, but this is pretty solid in this deck too. Now, for this last deck, I'm going to show you an older deck that's no longer playable in the current format, but I just really want to talk about for how fun it was to play. This is 66 Samurai, and I bet you could already begin to see the gimmick of this deck and why it might not have been as functional as it should be. Well, the goal is pretty simple. We're going to use play starters such as the Brilliant Engine and Zodiac Barrage to start our plays to go into our 6 Samurai combos. We get to those by making MX Saber Invoker to summon Kizunaru to search any 6 Samurai monster we want, and then immediately go into Isolde, Two Tales of the Noble Knights. But instead of sending 1 to summon Fuma, we're going to be sending 4 different equip spells to summon another Kizaru to search again. Now, if this is going to be done right, we can search Mizuho and Shinai. Mizuho and Shinai, when you control the other one, you can summon the other one from hand. At this point, I bet you're beginning to figure out where the Brilliant Engine comes into place, because that'll give us the extra normal summon we need to make this combo continue. And we also have other ways to get one of them out from the field, such as Aestheticism of the 6 Samurai, or, of course, Shin's Dojo. So we can always make sure to have this free engine, and with the 2 level 3 monsters, we can make another MX Saber Invoker, summon another Kizaru to keep going. All this would be made easier if Gateway of the 6 wasn't at 1, and this was before the Link monster came out for 6 Samurai, mind you. It is an incredibly fun deck to play. Oh, we also play Zodiac Barrage for free Link material, so we can help play a bit better through hand traps. I did actually take this deck to a regional once, and I did pretty well, I'll say, considering how unfortunate this deck is in terms of consistency, which is better than you think, is still not good enough. I blew out a True Draco player to such an extreme degree at the time, he dropped after round 1. I ended up going undefeated till about round 4, when I lost to a Lair of Darkness player who understood the ruling that if I have Shin and Xian on field, so Shin has a really funny effect. Your opponent can only activate 1 spell or trap card each turn, and Xian negates an activation of a spell and trap card and destroys it. So what he was able to do is he was able to go Raigeki. Okay, then I have to negate because I want to keep my board with Xian, and then during battle phase, evenly matched. And this ended, because I did the full board on him. I had the firewall, I had the giant hand too, and it just, what can you do? Sometimes you get blown out, you know? And it proceeded to, you ever have those tournaments where you're doing fine, then you get one, loss, and everything just kind of falls apart from there? Well, that's kind of what happened. Lost my mojo, wasn't good. Yeah, Six Samurai is one of my favorite decks to play. They're so wacky. They're not the best deck ever, and even if a lot of players now aren't running it because there's other stuff to run, I might do a Six Samurai deck in future. Just let me know if you guys want to see that, okay?